Hey guys, welcome back to Phil Plays TCG, and today we are talking about Future Trunks, one of the blue leaders from the first set of Dragon Ball Fusion World. We're going to talk about the cards you do want to run in the deck, and go over the essentials, the extras, the boss monsters, stuff that you should not put in the deck as well. And yeah, let's just get into this. I guess first and foremost, I should say thank you so much to every single person that has helped me get to the 700 subscriber mark. Holy crap, we've had the best growth on the channel, I think, ever. We got to over 100 subscribers in a month. All I can say is thank you guys so much for all the views, the comments, the likes, all the support that you guys have brought to the channel. I really do appreciate that, and I hope to keep making content like this going forward for Fusion World, and of course other card games as well. But right now, we are on the hype train of Fusion World. So once again, thank you so much for helping me out. And now we are on our way to 800 subs. So remember, if you haven't already, you like Dragon Ball, One Piece, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and help a guy out. I really do appreciate it. But anyway, enough of that, typical YouTuber stuff. So, Trunks. Future, technically. He is one of the two blue leaders that is going to be released in the first set of Dragon Ball Fusion World, the other one being Goku Black, that we did already do a video on. I am a resident blue player. I like the way the cards look. I'm a big fan of the color blue in general, so, I've always gravitated towards playing blue in card games. But Trunks, I think, is, in comparison to Goku Black, he is far better. At first, I was like, Trunks just kind of seems weird. The whole bouncing cards to hand thing mechanic has always been, to me, a worse way to remove cards off board. I'd rather always just remove cards to the bottom of the deck or somewhere else, because putting cards back to hand, that's an awful thing. But that is a Dragon Ball Super Masters mindset, and that is something you do have to get over. Because in this game, where it is a lot faster paced, bouncing a card back to hand, one, could upset their tempo, preventing them from being able to swing multiple times. And if they have like a card they play that turn, plan on playing another card next turn, all of a sudden they just have to decide if they want to replay that card or just forego it. But a really cool thing about this leader's ability is that it can also be used on your cards. It does not necessarily have to be on your opponent's, and because of that, it does have the advantage over Goku Black. You do have the option for more generic, good blue cards, while Goku Black has to focus more on archetype-based stuff, which unfortunately is kind of a trait carried over from Masters. There can't be a good, simple Goku Black deck. There just can't be. I do like the deck in general, and I'm hoping we do get more support in the future, but for now, between Future Trunks and Blue Starter Deck Vegeta is going to be, they are going to be the two contenders to decide who is the better generic blue leader and blue deck in general. So let's talk about it. First and foremost, frontside leader of Future Trunks. He is a draw one when attacking, and if your life is at 4 or less, draw a card, awaken. The backside, once again, draw 1 card on attack, and then once per turn, activate main. You may choose 1 battle card with a cost of 3 or less and return it to its owner's hand. Like I said, you can bounce cards from your opponent's board back to their hand, or you can bounce things from your own hand back to from your board back to your hand, which does allow you to reuse a lot of cards with on-play effects. Recursion is going to be a huge factor in blue, and I think Trunks, for the most part, does it better than Starter Deck Vegeta. So let's talk about it. That is the rundown of the leader. Let's talk about the essentials of the deck. 1-drops. Blue has a lot of great 1-drops with a lot of really cool abilities. So there's 2 pages of 1-drops. This is the front page. We have 1-drop Pilaf. I've talked about this in the Goku Black, so I'll just make it very quick. Pilaf has the ability to grab, as long as your hand is 7 or less cards on play, you can grab any Earthling card from your trash back to your hand. Now, this does include battle cards as well as extra cards, which at the moment there is only 1 extra card with the Earthling skill, but still, that's a huge thing. So Pilaf is essentially able to grab most cards in your discard pile, and it can recur itself for an infinite combo, which is amazing. Next, we have the 1-drop My Future card. Activate main once per turn. Look at the top card of your deck and place it at the top or bottom of your deck. So now this one's not necessarily, I'll admit this one right here is not necessarily a, requirement in the deck. It is kind of a cool tech piece where you're allowed to essentially, once per turn, you can see what card you're going to be drawing next. For your next turn or for a card effect during battle. So it is kind of neat to decide, oh, this card's bad, throw it at the bottom of the deck. Then, of course, we have the My Future SR. On play, add up to 2 cards from your life to your hand. This is going to be essential for the Trunks deck because you want to awaken as soon as possible. Being able to, 1, have a stronger attack power, but 2, being able to start bouncing cards back to hand, your hand or your opponent's hand is going to be huge. And then, of course, once per turn, if you have 7 or fewer cards in hand, when an opponent's battle card is returned to their hand by one of your skills, doesn't have to be leader skill, draw 1 card. This might not come up very often because 5k power cards can be easily cleared off the board. So don't plan on using that ability. And of course, Haru and Maki, they're on play if you have 7 or fewer cards in hand. Choose it to one of your Trunks future cards, and it gets 10,000 power for the turn. This is going to work on your leader. So this is essentially just a free, 10k buff on play to your leader to start swinging in for 25k or 30k. And like I said, Pilaf has the ability to recur 1-drop Earthlings, so Haru and Maki can easily be there. Now, of course, you can play this card, pump up your leader by 10k, and then combo with this card, making your leader now essentially a plus 20k for the battle. That is insane for 1 value getting 20k buff. Just fantastic. Next, we have a couple other 1-drops. Now, like I said, these are not all these cards are essential, they're just options. We have the 1-drop Pan. On play, draw 2 and discard 2 from hand. This can help with cycling. Bulma, once per turn, if you have 7 or fewer cards in hand, during this turn, the next time you use an extra card from your hand, reduce the cost of it by 1 blue. This doesn't really come up too often because a lot of blue extra cards already are 1 cost. Now, I'm not 100% sure if that just means they're free, because if they are, that just changes everything. This would essentially make all of your 1 cost extras that you play during this turn free, which would be nutty. But at the time of recording this video, I am not 100% on that. So that could change it. If it is free, wonderful. If not, there's like 1 card, maybe 2 cards that this will work with. And then of course, the 1-drop Trunks from the starter deck, play it for 1, draw 1. And then you can combo with it for an additional 5k boost. But essentially, you're just more card cycling. So 1-drops is the name of the game with this deck. You want to go wide, not necessarily tall. Next, we have the Trunks cards, or what you could consider the bosses of the deck. You have the 3-drop 20k Trunks SR. On play, add up to 1 card from your life to your hand, then choose it to 1 battle card with a cost of 5 or less and return it to its owner's hand. So for 3, you get a 20k body, and you can bounce a 5 cost back to the board, as well as you can add a card from life to your hand. Now, that is not 100% a requirement. You can play this, not take the life, and still swing and still get bounce that 5 cost. Then, of course, you have the 4-drop Rare Trunks. He's a 25k body with critical. On play, choose it to 1 battle card with a cost of 3 or less and return it to its owner's hand. Now, at first, I thought the 4-drop Trunks was the better alternative, but upon testing, the 3-drop Trunks is where it's at. So, because it does cost 3, it is bounceable with the leader ability, while the 4-drop is not. 20k is still a respectable attack power. On an awakened leader, it does require them to still combo something, and you can bounce a 5 cost back to the opponent's hand. Say they just play their 5-drop Frieza, 5-drop Goku, 5-drop Turles. You can bounce it back to the opponent's hand, making them have to waste the 5 energy to play again next turn. And worst case, swing with it and then return it to your hand via your leader skill. So you could just play it again next turn to keep bouncing their stuff. So I do think out of the 2, this is going to be the better card. But who knows? People might find some neat combos with the 4-drop Trunks. This essentially could be like your quote-unquote boss card, but we will go over some other boss options in a sec. The basics. These are going to be staple cards, I believe, for the deck. Blue does run a lot of extras, which you will see on the next slide. So you do want to run the 3-drop Piccolo, because if you have 7 fewer cards in hand, you can add 1 extra card from your drop to your hand. Worst case, if you don't have any extra cards in your drop at the time, you can always charge Piccolo, but he's also that 5k spot there, because sometimes you don't want to drop a 10k combo, you just want to drop a 5. Of course, we have Go Tanks. Like I said, recursion is the name of the game, and as long as you have 7 or fewer cards in hand, not only do you get a 25k body on board, you get to grab a Goten and Trunks card, with a Sun Goten and a Trunks Youth card, both at the cost of 2 or less from your drop to your hand. So you do get the starter deck 2-drop Trunks and Gotens. You get the 1-drop Goten and Trunks. So once again, recurring. You play this for 4, you swing for 25, but you also get to grab 2 more cards from your drop, which is going to be at most another 20k worth of combo power. So great recursion there. And of course, the Gohan, this card is phenomenal. Just as long as you have 7 or fewer cards in hand, his permanent during your turn is that he gets 15k power. A 35k body for 3 is fantastic. Like I said, it's going to be a staple, and I think for the most part, these 3 cards are going to be in all blue decks. Like I mentioned, blue has a lot of extra cards, and I think these 5 are the best ones. I did not bring in the extra card that allows you to work with Goku Black cards, and then the Zamasu card. I think those are not worth it. These are the main 5 you're going to be considering when building Trunks. Sinister Sickle, I think this is a blue staple. Being able to bottom deck 2 4-cost cards on your opponent's board for 3 is insane. And with that with that Bulma card, you can lower it down to 2 cards. Sorry, for cost of 2 to bottom deck 2 4-costs. That is insane. Goku Black, Black Kamehameha. Activate battle once during your opponent's turn, so you can only use this defensively. You can buff up your leader or battle card by 20k, and then look at the top 3 cards of your deck and place them at the top or bottom of your deck in any order. So if you look at the top 3 and decide these are all bad cards, you can bottom deck them, or if you do see a couple cards in there that you do want, you can start setting up your next couple draws. Now this is defensive only, and its counterpart is the Final Hope Slash, which is an activate battle during your turn only. This card here is fantastic. You can choose to give your leader or battle card 20k power. Then choose it to 1 battle card with a cost of 2 or less and return it to its owner's hand. So you can choose to return to your hand any of the 2-cost cards, like the 2-cost Goten, 2-cost Trunks, back to your hand. So you can use it as combo power after you've already swung with it. And then, like I said, you get that 20k buff for 1, and this is recurable through Pilaf, since it is a 1-cost card with the Earthling trait. So really, really cool. And of course, the 2 extras we got from the starter deck, Final Flash and Gallic Gun. Final Flash is essentially just can be as little as a 1-cost, discard 1 card from hand to bottom deck a 5-cost or less on the board. It has to be one of your opponent's cards, though. And then we have the Gallic Gun, a 1-cost 15k boost to leader or character, and if you have 7 or fewer cards in hand, draw 1. These are going to be your staples. Now, of course, you can make the decision to not putting Black Kamehameha in favor of Final Hope Slash, but I do think it makes sense. You could put all of these in here, but maybe having 2 of each copy, so you're not putting too many extra cards in the deck. Now, of course, the boss monsters that you're going to be looking at. Trunks did not necessarily get his own dedicated boss monster because, like I said, Trunks doesn't want to go tall. You want to use your energy the most effectively, playing multiple things a turn, not necessarily one big card. But, of course, you do still have options. I still think that the Goku Black 6-drop is a really good boss monster for blue. Now, why I say that. Most cards in most other colors can only get rid of cards with a cost of 5 or less. Him being a 6-cost means he's not going to be easily targetable. He does have Some great abilities, well, first of all, being a 40k body is a pretty big number, but on play, add up to 1 card with a cost of 4 or less from your drop back to your hand. Most cards in this deck are going to be 4 cost or less, so it's easy recursion. And of course, when attacking, if you have 7 or fewer cards in hand, play a battle card with a cost of 4 or less from your hand. This does give you the option to play the future Trunks 3 cost card that I mentioned earlier. The Gohan, that swings for 35, Piccolo, Gotenks, you know, a bunch of really good options to play for free on swing. So then you play Gotenks, you get those Goten and Trunks cards back, you play Gohan, you have a 35k swinger, you play Piccolo, you grab an extra card from the drop area, you can play this Trunks for free, bounce it back to hand with your leader ability, play it again, well, probably not in the same turn, mind you, unless you somehow Goku Black lives for the next turn. Like, the amount of stuff you can do with this leader is fantastic. And like I said, Trunks, this is like the closest card that Trunks has to a boss monster in his own archetype. But I think Goku Black is just a better overall boss monster due to its stats. And then of course we have the Vegeta from the starter deck. This card is wonderful, being a 35k body for 5 with double strike. And you can bottom deck an opponent's battle card with a cost of 4 or less. So all of these are great options for the deck. Now, this is something I didn't put in the Goku Black. This is something you should not play. Of course, the Time Machine 2-drop Trunks combo. I thought when I saw Time Machine that it was a field card, like a card I could use continuously every turn. Upon realizing that it is a 1-drop activate main extra card that goes to the trash afterwards, this card is not good. It allows you to look at the bottom of your deck. If you have a Trunks future card with a cost of 2, you can place any it reads like this, sorry. Look at the bottom card of your deck and play up to 1 Trunks future with a cost of 2. Place any remaining cards at the bottom of your deck. This would have been great if there were more than just 1 2-drop Trunks. 2-drop future Trunks. Because this is the only one. To run this effectively, you need 4 copies of Time Machine, 4 copies of future Trunks. Now, future Trunks, his ability is, when attacking at the end of the turn, place his card at the bottom of your deck. Then, Time Machine will allow you to then play that Trunks for free, for 1, and then you can swing again, but of course, at the end of the turn, it goes back to the bottom of your deck. Time Machine is useless, in my opinion. It's a bad card. It should have been some type of field card, or should have been able to stay on the board some way. This card, on the other hand, is not bad, actually. You can swing for 30k, use your leader ability to bounce this card back to your hand. So you're paying 2 to swing with 30, and then always recurring it back to hand with your leader ability to use it as a 10k combo. That is an option. So while you can make an argument for this card to exist in the future Trunks deck, Time Machine is not it. Do not run that combo. Unless we get more 2-drop future Trunkses in the future, this card is just a bad card. Quick little thing here, the super combos you can obviously pick from the deck. Unfortunately, they are literally the same card. It is 7 cost, 15k, Earthling. There's no special traits that would make them like why you would want to pick one over the other. It's literally the same card, except one's Videl, one's future Yajirobe. I don't understand why they created another blue super combo that doesn't have a different trait than Videl, than Earthling. I think that was kind of pointless. Could have put another card in the set, but whatever. That's just me personally. So, going over, I do think this could be the best generic blue leader that we have. Of course, the other one being blue starter deck Vegeta. Now, you can make arguments for starter deck Vegeta. I get it. I really like having that 35k swing every turn. But I just feel like Trunks is more of a toolbox deck. And there's a lot of really cool options you can use with the deck. And I'm very excited to see some people's designs and builds for the deck once we officially get the sets and we start having our official local scene, tournament scene, and all that fun stuff. So, that's the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for checking it out. What do you think of Trunks as a leader? What do you think of the cards I've picked for this for this deck? Like I said, these are not cards you need to have in the deck, like you guarantee have in the deck. These are just cards I believe you should have in the deck, cards you shouldn't. and some play styles that you can run with Trunks. So with that being said, thank you guys so much once again for checking out this video. Thank you so much for 700 subs. We are on our way now to 800. So if you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment down below, and I'll check you out on the next video. Take care, guys.